You're a legend in this city, one of the best to ever do it. When we're talking about high school football players, you have highlight tapes that will live long past you and I both. 9-year NFL career. But when kids hear the name Tavon Austin, what do you hope comes to mind for them?
I would say just a person that he changed the game, a game changer. A guy that when you say that name is like, oh no, he one of the top dogs in this business. Even though my career, probably haven't panned out how I was supposed to go, but if you know, you know. And that's all that mattered to me.
Is there one moment when you look back that shaped you as a person?
Honestly, man, I just think just being from this city, that shaped me, just how tough it is. I don't really think people I think people understand it, but it was a difference between living in it and really just being from the outside in, and what it took for any of us who made it out of here that's really from the city, what it really matters to us, because we live in a rough city, in the whole world, and just not about the state of Maryland, So when you definitely make it out of here, I feel as though you can make it anywhere.
You said rough. Rough means so many different things to different people. What does that look like to you? What does rough mean?
Rough for number one, just our way of living every day. I was a West Baltimore guy. I went to school in East Baltimore. That's come some of the most crime in the world from both sides, and they kind of know when you're from over west or you're from over east, so that's really big about me. For two, man, the school system. I really believe if we had a different type of school system here and more teachers and a better curriculum, I think we'll make it more fun life, It's a lot of things I feel like when I went to school that I didn't know, and it's okay though, I really don't fault the Baltimore school system. I should have. It's everything in the whole, but I feel like I could have been better off. Even when I see the kids now, I see all these stats and everything about our school system. I just wish our school system was a little better too.
When you come back here and you talk to those kids that are from where you're from, what do you say to them? What is your message to those kids?
And, honestly, I haven't been back in a while. I still was with my career. A lot of things are going on, a lot of ups and downs. Me getting hurt. People really don't call me no more, or when you at the top of that mountain, everybody love you, But I had to get myself right first, But I'm definitely willing to step in and roll, and the ones that listen, the ones that would hear the name Tavon Austin and be like, oh, okay, that's one of the greats that we had in Baltimore, I definitely would step in and tell those guys that, remember I'm the same person as you. Don't think just because you may see me with all this flamed up jewelry, cars, houses, and all that I'm still don't know what it took to get where you want to be, So I will always just tell them, strive for excellence, watch your surroundings regardless, and you got to be a leader, number one.
I want to go back to your high school career for a second. 3-time state champion. Don't need to say too much about what you did. When you look back on your high school career, what are some of your favorite memories?
Oh man, just being a three-peat, Then and I ain't gonna lie, just traveling from that west to east on that subway, Just the hard times of how much you really wanted. After practice, to getting back on that subway, 9:30 at night, getting home at 10, back up at 6:30, back on the subway. Like those type of things that just stay in my mind that really show me that I want it. And then, like I say, just being a Dunbar poet, Just being at three-peat. It was so much of good times down there, Coach Ben Eaton, Coach Lon Smith and all those guys down there, man. We became one family, That's what I realized when I went over east, the whole East Baltimore kind of, soaked me in too, though, So I love them for that. But, you really got to see it, though. You really got to be a part of it to understand how much of the tradition it is when you go down Dunbar and the things from East Baltimore, the love they show too.
Everyone talks about your West Virginia highlight. Yeah. Your high school highlight, I think that might be better than the West Virginia one.
That was a whole 10 minutes of non-tackling, you know what I mean?
You barely got touched.
But it's a lot of saying about that. I wasn't playing against nobody and all this, but I say this at the same time.
You plays in the Crab Bowl, state championship.
And I went to college, did the same thing, but I say this though. As a freshman, I scored 21 touchdowns. As a sophomore, 32 touchdowns. As a junior, 39. As a senior, 42. So regardless of the situation, I was still going to be me regardless of wherever I've been at. As long as I was around a good system, some good old linemen, good quarterbacks, I was going to strive for excellence regardless, though.
All right, now be honest with me. We're talking about that tape, and then the West Virginia one has millions. Both of them have millions of views. You ever sit back and watch them?
What's crazy is I do not watch.
Come on now.
Let's hold on. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I do not watch my tape. I really don't watch football. I haven't watched football I started watching last year. Before that, when I retired, I haven't watched football in 2 years. I wasn't really ready to give it up, but I watched it last night. That's what's crazy. I had my daughters with me or whatever. I was just watching it. I watched the high school, I watched my college, and then I watched a little bit of the league. And I would just sat back and just like, golly, boy, you was a bad man. You know what I mean? I really don't give myself enough flowers, I feel like, anyway. You know, I'm a humble guy. If anybody know me, that's just how I am.
Was it just too hard to watch, I guess, before you made the announcement? Obviously, been some time before you played. Was it just too hard to maybe admit to yourself that it was your time?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was more for me because I wasn't I didn't think deep inside I wasn't done with it. And I just didn't want to stop and, watch that stuff. I hear it a lot, though. Like I say, if you know, you know. People would come up to me and be like, Tavon Austin, bad as how they Tavon such and such, you know what I mean? So that definitely feel good. But for me, I had different dreams. You know what I mean? I wanted to be a Pro Bowler, all those type of things. And it ain't work out for me. You know what I mean? Caught a couple bad injuries along the way. And it just stopped it from there. But, I just ain't never watch it.
So what was that moment where you knew that it was time?
Honestly, I gave myself a time limit as the Bills had released me. I told myself I was gonna give it all the way to next October. You know what I mean? So they gave it like 6-7 games into the season, whenever that started. And I had got one call though. My boy Gino. Gino got me a call with Seattle. I went up there, I did my thing. I looked good. I really don't think they thought I was gonna look that good. And I believe it was a hard situation for them to kind of pick me. And they made me stay one more day. Usually that don't happen. If you stay, I mean, you there for good, but they told me they're gonna go a different direction. And I gave it to Halloween. I was getting tired of working up in the morning and I wanted to see results. I'm seeing people leave out the building every single day. And it just got mentally exhausted, you know what I mean? To the point I'm just like, you know what? Maybe God just telling me, this is my time. So I just gave it up.
Do you feel like you were ahead of your time as a player?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like whatever God made it to be, and if He wanted me to be right there, and that's cool. You know what I mean? If He wanted me to be the type of person that had to take the hit, and I ain't saying I'm the only little guy that took the hit. You got some other good guys out here too, though. You know what I mean? But if I had to be the guy, you know what I mean, that it came out 3-4 years before his time, before all this stuff really rumbling, and all these contracts and all these offenses and these type of systems, man, I would love to get in, one time, spin it one more time, though.
What goes through your mind when you're watching today's game? You see those offensive systems, you see those little guys that looked up to you thriving in those roles. What goes through your mind when you're watching the games?
Man,
today?
honestly, I just feel 100% joy. You know what I mean? Even though it's their story, it's not really about me. But just seeing the type of athletes they might can be and how they move, and I'd be like, ooh, like, yeah, that boy nice. You know what I mean? That boy nice kind of remind me of myself a little bit.
There are so many players throughout the league that I've talked to over the years that have brought you up as a guy that they watched growing up. Yeah. What does that mean to you? I'm sure you hear it also when those young guys reach out. What does that mean to you?
Man, it means the world to me, honestly. It may not seem like it, because deep inside, I'm still battling with my own, things that I still want to do on the football field. But it means a lot, though, because I see that they see a player that really loved the game and was true to the game. I played with a different type of aggression and a different type of mentality than a lot of these players today, you know what I mean? So when a person do say that, I know they see that grit, you know what I mean? You probably can see the grit in my eyes now, you know what I mean? And that's the type of player I am, so it definitely made me feel good.
And one of those players is Ravens rookie, Lajohntay Wester, 6th-round draft pick, receiver, punt returner. He mentioned you as one of the greats, so I actually want to show you this. Press play for me.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I see that boy.
Have a little Tavon Austin in him?
Yeah, see that boy.
See the grit?
I've been a fan of him. You know what I mean? I'm always I'm a fan of Prime. You know what I mean? His sons and everything he got going on. So, I definitely last year I was a fan of him last year. You
think the Ravens found a punt returner?
Oh yeah, I mean. He definitely right there. I mean, I don't think nobody else ran one back yet. So, definitely putting himself on the map. But, I'm a fan there. So hopefully the Ravens, they get that boy a try, though.
He mentioned you and Antonio Brown
as
guys that he watches, which tells me, one, smaller, but also twitchy receiver, returner. Do you have any advice for Lajohntay as he starts his NFL career and is looking to make that journey?
Yeah, it's crazy. I sent him a message on IG last night before the game. I just told him, hey, good luck tonight. Be patient. Let it come to you. You know what I mean? I think a lot of players are so anxious. You know what I mean? He was a 6th round pick. I was a 1st round pick. So that's both type of pressure on you. You know what I mean? I got pressure because I'm getting these millions of dollars and I got the whole organization on my back versus he got the pressure on him as a 6th round pick. I got to make a team or I got to go home. You know what I mean? So I just told him, be patient, let it come to you. And that's the only difference between being in college, high school, and in that league. You playing against the greats. You know what I mean? You just can't get the ball here, run there, and think you're gonna make something happen. Like, no, you asking for trouble. You know what I mean? But like I say, the first one he got a little 17-yard run, got his feet hot for his first one. You know what I mean? Then the next one, you can see he run with a different type of vengeance. He start to feel yourself. You know what I mean? And that's the thing about it. You might catch 5 punt returns in a row. You know what I mean? You might looking at, I ain't getting the opportunity. You're right, because you got a bullseye on you. Lord tell you, you're going to have a bullseye on you now. And that's just what it is. They still going to try him right now because it's more preseason. You know what I mean? But some teams, they're going to try him in the regular season. But eventually, if he keep being confident, he keep trusting them other 10 guys that's on the field, they blocking for him, and he trusting that system he got going on, it's only going to get harder and harder. You know what I mean? It's only going to get harder and harder, so just understand that, just be patient. That's the main thing for me, just be patient, trusting your blocks, trusting the system, trusting the play calling, and everything will work from there.
Sounds like he's got a fan. You're a fan too.
Oh, no, like I say, I've been a fan of his. I've been watching him all last year. I love his energy level. I love, even when he down, even when a lot of times Colorado was down last year, he might partner with the ball. He'd get up, he's screaming, he want the ball. You know what I mean? Kind of remind me of myself. You know what I mean? So it feels good to see how much he loved the game of football. He love it. You know what I mean? And I just want to tell you, you keep at it. Don't let nobody ever steal that joy from you. Even if you don't get to play or not this year, you keep that same joy, you keep that same mentality every single day, because when it's your time, ain't nobody can stop your shine, baby boy, and that's just what it is.
I want to go back to your post-football life. You kind of alluded to it a little bit, because I feel like a lot of guys, when they do retire, struggle because, for almost your whole life, football is your identity. What has that battle been like for you?
It was really tough, honestly. Just everything with the structure of life. You know what I mean? Since I was 6 years old, I had a schedule. You know what I mean? School, practice, probably play outside, homework, whatever your schedule is. You know what I mean? And then from waking up in the morning, just going work out, and then back on the couch all day. You know what I mean? With kids, it's just a different feeling. You know what I mean? Mentally, it can get to you. It's mentally draining. Even though they say, kids and everything and all that stuff is supposed to be love, and it is. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I've always been a go-getter. So I miss that camaraderie in the locker room and the times you beat your body up and who can go out there and still beat the next man out, or coming out that tunnel, or getting up in the morning and getting in the cold tub and getting in the hot tub in the steam room. I feel like a lot of people don't really look at those things until you out of the game. You know what I mean? So I just miss the whole schedule. I miss just being there from 5:30 to 6 o'clock, leaving that building every day. That was my life. You know what I mean? That was my world. And going back to sitting on this couch all day, getting fat and, eating all this stuff, nah, that ain't it. But it's a little different though. No, I mean, definitely a little different on the mental part. So, but it's all good though.
Yeah. What do you do to fill that void? Because obviously that's a major void. How do you fill that time now?
I just work out and just trying to pick my mind about businesses and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I just think about things in that nature. I had a couple job offers as far as coaching and everything, but mentally, I don't think I was really there yet. You know what I mean? So hopefully those jobs come back around, because everything, sometimes stuff only come around once. You got to make your chance. But I feel like with my name, with the knowledge of the game I got, I feel like if the opportunity can make it around and it fits, I think I would probably step into that role.
You posted that you want to give back,
yeah,
and you want to coach, but you can only see yourself doing it in one city,
yeah,
at one school,
yeah,
Dunbar.
Yeah, Man, I wanted that job so bad. You know what I mean? I think I would have had it, honestly, but it's some personal things that happened on my end that kind of put a hold on everything. But, you know, it was all good, though, because some of the fellow guys got it. You know what I mean? Courtney Bridges and my man my best friend Jonathan Perry. He the offensive coordinator and Courtney is the head coach. You know, we always went part of that three-peat too. Well, they were two-peat, but you know what I mean? They came in with us though. So, you know, I still feel a little part of it. Even if I won't go down there, you know, and say anything, they still gonna react to me like I'm one of the coaches. So that's the best thing about it.
Is the door open maybe for an opportunity if, you know, something opens up on that staff for you to
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. But it just gotta be all the way to right this situation. Cause like I said, I gotta bring the whole load with me. You know what I mean? And it just gotta make sense, and then I would go from there.
When people bring up Tavon Austin, talk about Tavon Austin 20, 30 years from now, what do you want your legacy to be, especially here in Baltimore?
Just he had one of the greatest. Like he was just one of the greatest that ever played. He was legendary, the type of guy he was, the type of character he showed, and who he was as a football player. You know, when they definitely look him up, just like when they look up Prime, you know, they still call that man, he's a bad man. I want him to look at me the same way all over the world, just not in Baltimore. You know what I mean? I want him to look at me all over the world. If a person really know football, they'll know that I was one of them boys. I'm gonna remain one of them boys, and hopefully when they look me up, they'll still say that.